This episode of LA Meekly Music Box brought to you by SmileBrilliant.com. If you're like me, you're a little bit overwhelmed by all the teeth whitening products on the market. So SmileBrilliant.com has provided us with some very interesting facts to pass on to you about the teeth whitening process. Fact 1, teeth whitening does not whiten your teeth. It removes the stains and restores the tooth to its natural color.
Fact number 2, teeth whitening does not damage teeth, but it does temporarily dehydrate.
Fact 3, tooth sensitivity is the result of tooth dehydration.
Fact number 4, caps and veneers cannot be whitened because they do not have pores for the stains to latch onto.
Fact number 5, the key to teeth whitening is the delivery device. Whitening strips neglect the crevices and molars and they slide on your teeth. Saliva floods the generic trays because they're bulky and do not create a seal. And the LED lights, they do nothing. If you want that to work, you need the high output UV ones only found at the dentist, so don't fall for that gimmick.
Unless you like gimmicks. Unless you like to waste money and that's your gimmick. Unless you like to go to pharmacies and buy magic tricks that don't work out of a box. That's fine. You could be that person.
That'll do just as much for your teeth. But if you want a service that is going to help your teeth get whiter, you want SmileBrilliant.com. The number one whitening device recommended by dentists is the custom fitted tray, and you could spend $300 to $600 at the dentist, or you could go to SmileBrilliant.com and use their lab direct mail-in process for the fraction of the price. And if you grind your teeth at night, you can also get Smile Brilliant's custom fitted night guards, once again for a fraction of the price from the dentist. So you go to SmileBrilliant.com, use promo code LAMeekly, get yourself a little discount. That's SmileBrilliant.com.
Smile intelligently. Hi, and welcome to the latest LA Meekly Music Box, the 5th edition.
No, Greg, we've talked about this. This is the 5th track. This is the 5th B-side, according to you.
Yeah, the 5th B-side, because that's the triangle-shaped records. We went over this before.
Oh, this is LA Meekly's 5th.
Oh, the 5th movement.
In my head, I was going to say Beethoven, like in Bill and Ted.
Oh, right.
And then I thought, that's stupid. Why would I say that? And then I called him Beethoven.
Beef Heaven.
We're auditioning for the 4th Bill and Ted sequel. And this time, we blue-pilled. They keep showing the Matrix trailer, and I'm like, why do you want to encourage these people right now of like, you gotta take the red pill? Like, this is not the time to be having a new Matrix movie. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about music.
Yeah, we are. And there's no music in the Matrix. Watch it again. It's not a single note of music in those movies.
And if you hear any, you're in the Matrix. That's a glitch. I remember. So
you took the magenta pill.
You took Mother's Little Helper music. So the band we're here to talk about this month, last month we started because we decided Halloween needs 2 months of spooky music. So this month we've got another spooky band for the Halloween season. This month our band is Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers.
What a great name that is.
Yeah, the Rhythm Howlers.
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of stuff. It's got a really fun garage punk name, but that's not necessarily how they sound.
That's not their sound at all.
I like that I was surprised between the name of the band and the sound of the music.
Well, we'll tell you more about them and their name. Well, we won't tell you anything about their name, but we'll tell you more about them after.
We'll tell you why we named them that.
We name all the bands on this show. They come in with one thing. No, you're talking to the Meekly boys, top floor of the Capitol Records building, because we're on the roof with the pigeons. So the first song we're going to hear is called Destruction, which is their newest studio single that was just released last month. So here is Destruction by Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers. A woo. And a woo to you too.
And generic European accent to you too.
We dance, stars align, we kiss, oceans rise, we love, cities fall, destruction, la-ti-da. Just as I was, I saw just who you are. I took no time to try to open up a scar. The sheets were wearing thin.
What a fun, spooky time that was.
Well, let me explain what we just heard.
No.
And that was Destruction by Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers. A woo.
Generic European accent to you as well.
That's how you respond in the Church of Antichrist.
That's a fun sound. It's really jazzy, and it's like a spooky kind of swing jazz.
Yeah, that's
number.
it's like modern bluesy, swingy, New Orleansy sort of stuff. This is the scenario. You'd hear it in you're in a smoky bar somewhere along the Mississippi River, and you'd be sitting in the bar listening to it for a few hours, and then you leave, and then when you walk out, someone asks you, what were you doing in there? And you're like, oh, I was listening to this great spooky band, and they tell you that Roadhouse has been closed since the 30s. It's a real life Dusk Till Dawn, except much more pleasant music.
Well, I left because I have this girl's Letterman jacket. I have to give it back to her.
You're in like 50s pom-poms, even though I just said you're in 30s pom-poms.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that sound.
They have like a theatrical element to the way that they look, which is, I feel like that's becoming a theme with the last 3 bands that we've been talking about. Some of them dress up like chickens. Some of them dress up like retired dads in their 30s on vacation. And now we'll explain a little bit more about why they dress up the way they do, but it's kind of like, how do you even describe it? Some of them are wearing masks. Some of them are dressed like they're
suits
dead.
with skeletons.
Yeah. And then I saw a video with the drummer had a pigeon head on.
A cult.
It's like a working skeleton, like working ghouls.
That's exactly a phrase that you've said many times in your life. Working class ghouls.
Blue collar, just salt of the earth, salt of the graveyard kind of musicians. They've got this added Halloween sort of element to them.
It's really great.
Yeah, it seals the deal. Like I love that style of music, and to have what they're singing about rather than like love and money. They're singing about like dead love,
dead money,
bone money.
They have a look to them that begs you to see them live.
Yeah, they seem like a band that would be a fun live show. Like they seem like you're going to see Kiss, but no relation at all to Kiss, but just a band that like the performance is part of the draw.
Right. Yeah.
When we did our first episode, our first music box episode, David Kahn, I always mispronounce his name, but he's one of our longtime listeners.
Right.
Because he heard us talking about like maybe we'll have a Halloween, like a spooky band one day. And he had recommended this group from the very beginning.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, sure, David Kahn. I'm going to listen to David Kahn or Kahn. Neither.
I'll listen to David Kahn, but I won't listen to David Kahn.
But when we were looking for more Halloween bands, I put out like, does anyone know of any like Halloween sort of LA bands? And Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers like kept coming up, and I'm like, I hate to give it to David Kahn or Kahn, but this is the perfect group. And as with all of the musicians, very nice and helpful in this whole process. Like every single musician we've been in contact with has been like maybe the nicest person we've ever. Each time,
it's almost like a lot of people are really nice, and it's just still a shock to me.
No. Only musicians are nice. And from what I've read in rock and roll history books, musicians are the only nice people out there.
Your Sid Viciouses, your Axl Roses,
your
your current Van Morrison, you're always Eric Clapton.
You're Charles Manson. So now let me tell you who's in the band first.
Okay.
So you've got Marquis on guitar and howling. This is their current core lineup, by the way. You've got Jason Fabus on saxophone, Gareth Price on drums, Colby. What you have something to say about his name?
It just kind of sounds rich and spooky.
The Price is Right. Colby McCamey on bass.
Cool name.
And Mario Maggio on clarinet. That's a good name.
That is a good name.
Mario Maggio.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm going to steal that. I'm taking that name. I would love to, if I ever get in a situation where I have to be put into witness protection, I want to show up with a list of names and be like, what about this one?
Could I be Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers? and on the song that we're going to hear coming up later, the trumpet, which was on their first albums, was by the late Tim Gill also.
Tim Gill.
Now to hear a little bit from the mouth of the demon himself.
I've seen video and pictures of them, and I've heard their music, and not until we're talking right now, I'm like, oh, you know who I was trying to make the spiritual connection to? Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Yeah, and you also mentioned, not King David, King.
Oh, King Dude. Yeah,
King
they also
Dude.
sound a little bit like another great spooky musician, King Dude.
And the spookiest ruler of all. I think they're a lot like King David.
Khan?
Yeah, King David King David can. So a little bit about why they make the music that they do. He says, I can't help but eat up my influences. Music, art, philosophy, things you can find anywhere if you're looking. I'm not obsessed with death.
That's how him and I are different.
But maybe a little dram of mortality would go well in everyone's hip flask. Music for the eyes and ears. Don't we listen with our eyes anyway? Mm-hmm. I have like synesthesia for the eyes where I can taste music. I can taste sheet music.
Something's wrong with my glasses because this Beatles song tastes pretty good.
Ooh, Mean Mr. Mustard has never tasted better. So regarding the way that they dress on stage, he said, I found that the mask and wigs help people see through whatever walls they might put up around themselves. It's a shortcut to their subconscious. It's so easy to judge a regular person, but once you add layers, the judgmental autopilot can't quite so easily kick in. Also, I enjoy dressing up, so it's a win-win. He sounds like he lives in the DC universe. Regarding how LA has played a role in shaping the band, he said, I grew up an hour or so inland of Los Angeles, and I moved out here about 10 years ago to be closer to my young son and the music work that I was picking up. I had a soft landing and met a whole stable of amazing musicians who, as we know, are the nicest people in the world with the highest moral code. At one point, I realized that if I played my cards right, I could hire these killers to play with me. The Los Angeles area is just brimming with talented players with taste and ability. Under ideal circumstances, one could even pay some bills as a musician out here. The Rhythm Howlers are my dream band, as we're able to play the music I hear in my head, bring my dreams to life. It's surreal, really. All of my influence can find their places, from Black Sabbath to Al Green, Cab Calloway to Susie Sue, Mary Blair to Marcus Aurelius. It all finds a path into the music we make here in this city of cities. There are more dead people here than living, and we can feel it. That sounds, we've talked with people before about like why people have like an obsession with like, this is where this person was killed. This is where this, and especially in LA, like there's, I mean, every city has a bunch of dead people under it, but like there's a lot of highbrow dead people under the earth in this room. Yeah. You kept noticing a beating noise before we started recording, and don't worry about it, but I'm telling you, there's dead people in the floors now.
We tend to concentrate on the glamorous deaths of celebrities and stuff. Not just them, obviously, just regular people do, but also like that's part of the ghost of LA. The big ghost, obviously, that hangs over LA.
The big ghost in the sky that we all worship here in Los Angeles. You can find their music on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and iTunes. You can go to their website, therhythmhowlers.com, for downloads of their music, shirts, vinyl, or CDs. And their Instagram and Facebook is at The Rhythm Howlers, and Twitter is at Rhythm Howlers. So you should check out. They have a lot of, they've got like a whole album on YouTube. Like they have one of their full albums on YouTube.
Oh, great.
And there's a lot of really good songs.
Listen to it. Buy their albums, follow them.
As for us, you could listen to our regular show if you don't normally listen. We normally talk about Los Angeles history. You can find all that stuff at lameeklypodcast.com or on YouTube or on iTunes or anywhere, Spotify. Or,
also YouTube.
Did you mention YouTube? You can go to our Twitter at LA Meekly, Instagram at LA_Meekly. You can email us if you're a band, if you are
an LA-based band.
If you happen to be Gustavo Dudamel and you want us to play your most recent piece, you can email us at la.meekly@gmail.com or message us on any of those things.
Stop us in the street.
Grab us by the lapels, and you'll recognize us by our lapels.
Yeah.
We're like John Travolta walking down the street when you see us.
I sold my spats for lapels.
We're finally coming into the modern era. Goodbye, poodle skirts. Hello, big ass lapels. You can also support us on Patreon.
For as little as $5 a month, we will send you a handwritten postcard from an LA place or somewhere that Daniel took a picture of.
In LA? What is it any different from the Science Center selling a picture of their building for $4? No, I take the same picture, I print it for 50 cents.
Catch me.
Use your science to put me in jail. Yeah, or even less. You won't get postcards, but you can still keep this going. We will bring you new bands every month and history every month. So now to take us out of this limbo that we've been living in for the last 15 minutes or so, here's a second song from Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers, which is a song originally written and recorded by a lifelong obsession of ours named Jelly Roll Morton, the most disgusting nickname in music history.
Phallus Morton.
So he recorded this back in 1929, and Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers, almost 100 years later, they recorded it on their album Post-Apocalyptic Jukebox. So here is New Orleans Bump by Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers, and we will see you on November 1st for our next episode, everybody. Have a good Halloween.
Stay safe.
Stay spooky. All the razor blades you find, bring them to me.
Yeah.
I could use a new razor. My face is getting all scratched up from my blunt razor blades. Happy Halloween. Here is New Orleans Bump by Marquis and the Rhythm Howlers. Oh, to you too.